Okay, Paul Ugbede is a writer. He writes plays, he also writes short stories, he writes novels. Paul Ugbede is also an art enthusiast. So that's who I am. That's the only thing I know I am. Okay, I consume all, especially when it comes to drama and music. And then once in a while, I think I love painting, but not actually abstract painting. I love realism. I am a fan of realism when it comes to painting. Also, I love oil on canvas kind of painting. I don't love pencil sketches and all that. So basically, I enjoy all forms of art. Childhood for me was kind of quiet. I was a quiet young guy. My father was a chief nursing officer, so we grew up, and he was a strict disciplinarian. So we grew up under that strict, very tense atmosphere. So we're not allowed to express ourselves because you don't go out. For instance, if you go out and you play football, and my father catches you and you're so oftentimes when we go to play football and we see him coming, we understand the sound of his bike. Yeah. So when we hear that sound of his bike, we quickly run home, pour spittle on our hands and clean our bodies before he comes home. But he always have a way of knowing. The fear of my father flogging us made us to remove ourselves basically from external activities. So I grew up becoming very, very deep, very introverted. I was an introvert. I couldn't express myself in public. I couldn't speak in public. If I have a fight with you and you ask me to tell my side of the story, I'll burst into tears. That was the kind of person I was, a bumblebee. So full of things to say, but I couldn't say it. That was how I was until from my primary school to my secondary school. In fact, my primary school, my elder brother started teaching me how to draw. So oftentimes we'll go to the sands in front of our house and we'll be drawing people, drawing things. And I think that was, for me, the beginning of my expression, how I started expressing myself. It was through drawing on sands. Later on, I started making comics on cut-out cartons and cut-out papers. And people come to read those comics. And I was quite small, I was still in primary 4, but people still come to read those comics. They love it. They queue to read. Sometimes I take the comics to their houses. Adults, I'm talking about adults, take the comics to their houses, and my father didn't like it. One day he just came up and tore my comics. Later then, by my class 6, we devised an art form. My elder brother and my younger brother and I designed an art form we called Bombo Bombo. Bombo Bombo was creating characters from wires. We create them into human figures. We create cars. We create buildings from wires, and it was like a puppet theater. So somebody will stand and be narrating and be using those wires to create conflicts, to create pictures, and people still loved it. My SS1, I wrote my first novel. I can still remember the title. Can I still remember the title? I don't think I can remember the title. I gave it to my vice principal academic, who was our literature teacher, and he said, okay, allow it to flower. For me, I was ready. I was supposed to be published because I had written a novel. Nobody had written a novel in my class, so I wanted to be the first person to write a novel. So he said, no, it's not ready for publishing. Allow it to publish. I went to University of Jos. So we had this playwriting class, and we were asked to write a play, a full-length play, and I wrote this play. When I submitted the play, after many weeks, my lecturer called me, wrote on my script and said, see me. And I was afraid, what did I do wrong? I went to his office and I said, okay, you have a flair for writing. don't ever stop writing. And for me, it was like God spoke to me. Because if Mr. Latte says you are good, it means you are good. And so that was my sojourn into playwriting. So after secondary school, I now joined this club called the Talented Christian Club. And that was the club that gave me the foundation for knowing that you're not supposed to be in the sciences, you're supposed to be in the art. And I think that was the beginning of me boosting my confidence. I think even throughout my university, I still had that low self-confidence. But, as you grow older and you keep mixing with people and people keep appreciating your work, it goes gradually and gradually. Of course, there'll still be residues of that low self-confidence in you, but it will not be as bad as it used to be. I read a lot, but sometimes you need to have time to even read. Yeah. These days, I hardly have the time to read. I'm trying to go on break from writing just to have time for myself, but I don't have that time because you have not you're hardly done with one work and another one comes knocking, and you need to meet up because everybody and you have to meet your deadline. So you find yourself writing in the morning, you're writing in the night, you are writing always. Of course, read other bigger playwrights who I look up to. Read novels, read anything that comes my way. I have my favorite playwrights, people I look up to, people whose styles have motivated me, who I copy from. Wole Soyinka is somebody I learned a lot from. I look at the way his use of language, and it's something I copy from, I borrow from. Harold Pinter. Harold Pinter is late. He's a British playwright. His use of silence in his play is something that is so intriguing to me, and every day I look at those things to help my writing. Femi Sufficient is also one of the playwrights I look up to. In fact, his radicalism in writing, he's the one who made me believe that that turned my mind from the school of the Deus Ex Machina, where the gods have to come down and solve our problems for us, and now realize through his works, Eshu and the Vagabond Minstrels and all others, that men have the solutions to their own problem. Besides writing, I've been acting. In fact, I've been acting from my 100 level to my 400 level, major roles. I'm not talking about minor roles. I've been acting major roles, and I've been directing. Oh. Yeah, but this jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. Okay, as Sunday minister was actually what inspired me was I come from a society where once you are given a political appointment, your house becomes a mecca. You will not be given room to even breathe. People come from far and near. People you know, people you don't know, come to claim relationship. People come with congratulatory messages on the radio, on the television. It's so irritating. And then one day, my friend took me to meet a political appointee who was just appointed, and we came into the compound and we saw people sitting everywhere. And then a thought just came to my mind, what if this man just comes out of his room and say, okay, I don't want this appointment anymore, everybody go, what will happen? I think that was what inspired it. Yeah, and it's okay, it will make a good drama. If somebody was given a ministerial appointment, his house becomes full with friends and well-wishers who are now demanding things from him, making laws, making on his behalf. And he comes out and say, I know they do again. And then, of course, naturally you think he's insane, because that's our mentality in this country. Yeah. If you are given an appointment and you turn it down, they say, they're mad. Or if you go into, if you become an appointee of government and after your tenure, you don't drive a luxury car, you don't build a big mansion, people say, He went there. What did he use his money for? Now look at him trekking. People look down at people, look down on people who are sincere. So that was how the idea for the play was bettered. Okay. For me, a normal day, I don't do anything apart from writing. Okay. So I don't have a day job. I don't have a night job. My day job is writing. My night job is writing. For me, the normal day starts from 3, 4 in the morning, where I incubate a story. And sometimes I'm lying in the bed, I'm awake, but my eyes are closed because I'm thinking of a story. I'm trying to create the structure. I'm looking at the conflicts. I'm looking at the characters. I'm trying to see how these characters work. I'm trying to see how they relate with each other. In my mind, I picture my play before I actually write it down. So if it is not standing on its feet at that point, I don't start writing. The longest I've ever gone was 2 years. Ooh. Yes, and that was our Sunday minister. July 18th is my birthday. I'm supposed to unveil a new collection of plays, but my publishers are still working on the editing, so that date will not be feasible. But we're looking at August to unveil that new collection of plays. So that's one of the things I've been working on. Apart from that, I'm also working on a couple of musicals. I think right now I'm working on about 5 musicals. I've written about 3. I'm going to write about 2, and before now I've written about 6 other plays which will be performed very soon. So it's just, for me, it's about writing and writing. There's no day that I don't find myself writing something. Theater in Nigeria is growing. It's growing, but not at a supersonic speed. But there's a gradual growth, and I think I'm excited about it. This is not how it used to be. In the olden days, we only have a few performing structures where a few theaters where people can go and perform. For instance, the National Theatre was almost like the only structure, the iconic structure that theater goers go to watch a play or to perform. But with the entrance of people like Bolanle Austin Peters, who now revolutionized the theater industry with theater culture. Since she came into theater, people now see more theater as a business than as a passion. I think she was the first person that started paying theater artists their worth. She was the first person that made theater artists, especially actors, realize that beyond the handouts that we get from acting, we can actually make a living from acting. She was the first person that started taking plays on tour. That's because after the likes of Huberto Gunde and the rest, from 1984 till early 2000s, theater was kind of comatose. So it was when, other people had things doing, like Shego Adefila, who was also performing with his Crown Troupe. We also have Wole Oguntokun, who was also doing something with his Renegade Theatre. But it was Austin Peters that burst the theatre space with her musicals. Bolanle Austin Peters also opened the eyes of sponsors to the kind of drive and market that theater can give to them. So Bolanle Austin Peters kind of revolutionized the theater industry. And right now we have other people doing a lot of things in the theater right now. And they are getting support from sponsors. We have people like Ayo Ajayi and Benga, who produced Fela Arrest the Music, who also produced Legend, the musical. So we can now see a lot of young people producing stuff. We have a lot of that. Go to the Lagos Fringe and see. Go to the Lagos Theatre Festival and see. If theater was, yes, if theater is, you see a lot of theater goers, and these festivals are growing because theater itself is growing. If there are no people writing, if there are no people performing, if there are no that youth, that excitement towards theater, there will be no festival to support those theaters. Yeah, I think the future for theater is bright. I won't deny that. Of course, what makes an artwork sell? One is publicity and the kind of market sponsorship you have, and then the ability for people to appreciate what we're doing and they come to watch. I see a future where more and more sponsors will start looking for a theater production to sponsor. It's coming. These days, banks are going around theater houses asking practitioners, okay, can we do something together? It's because they now see value in what you're producing. There's value, big value in the theater, and it's going to be sustained. But as practitioners, we also need to, apart from doing what we are doing, we need to also take our guild seriously. We need to take our structure seriously, because no matter how much money you get from the theater, if there's no structure, solid structure that will help you keep floating, you come crashing down. So we as practitioners need to take our guild seriously. Are you a writer? Try and be in a writers guild. Are you an actor? Try and belong to any of these guilds that will help you, climb this big mountain that is called theater. I know it's not going to be easy, but I really, really believe that there will never be a time in this country where the theater industry will go to sleep again. For me, writing is not about writing something. Writing is about writing something. So if my play cannot right a wrong, then I don't have any business writing. So yes, it's conscious. It's a conscious act. It's, for me, my play must address a problem, must interrogate, must investigate an issue. So when I write, I have that at the back of my mind. Whether people are laughing or people are engrossed in the beauty of the theatrics, at the end, there must be a message that you must take home. Because if there's no message, what are we doing in the theater? Yeah. We see theater as a mirror. It's a mirror of society. Society sees itself through the theater. When an actor goes on stage, at that point he goes on stage, he's no longer himself. He assumes a character. He assumes a doctor, he assumes a prostitute, he assumes a lawyer, he assumes a devil. Now this assumption is for you, the viewers, to see something, to see yourself in the life of this character. It is like holding a book of chronicles of your life before you. Hey, this is who you are. Can you do something about it? Can you change who you are? Hey, there's a better life to what you are living now. Can you aspire towards it? So at that point that you see a piece of theater, whether it's drama or a dance drama or music, once you see a piece of theater that tells you a message, and that message is absorbed by you, at that point, theater is doing its work. Theater is like a traffic warden that gives you the direction you should go. If there is no theater, if there is no art that gives a direction for us to go, there will be chaos. We can't live giving directions to society to sciences alone. We have to look at the art for humanity, because art is all about humanity. It's about how we live, it's about how we love, it's about how we fight, it's about how we hate. At the end, it is how we relate with each other as people. In creating a work of art, you try to look at the conflict, because conflict for me is the beauty of every work of art, especially drama. Without conflict, there's no drama. Without conflict, whatever you are seeing is just a piece of theater. So when you see people conflicting, conflict can be good, it can be bad. When you see them conflicting, what they are trying to do basically is trying to understand each other, trying to relate with each other. So when you see two people conflicting, is relationship. Sometimes this relationship ends good and sometimes it ends bad. But as a viewer, as a patron of the art, you learn from these things people put on stage, and at the end you use it to build a better life for yourself. Every politician should go to the theater. That's what I think, because there is no place that politics plays out like in the theater. In the struggle for space to perform, in the piece that you put on stage, in trying to compete. Theater is all about politics. In fact, I think theater artists make better politicians. One, you can talk. You know how to convince your people, because you come from that background where you put up a persona that is not your own. So at that point, when you stand on a podium and you're speaking to people, you are acting, and you are trying to convince them, just like what Adolf Hitler used to do. When time he's going to address the Germans, there's the music he plays on the background, and he's talking, and he's acting, and he's motivating them, and he's stirring their hearts. And at the end, their hearts are stirred to do whatever he wants to do. So, and then there's what I call the politics of theater and the theater in politics. The theater in politics is you acting, you promising what you can never fulfill. Telling somebody you build a road where you build a bridge where there's no river. Telling somebody you build a skyscraper on the sea. Telling somebody you give each of them an airplane. Promising things you know you can never fulfill. And that's the theater in politics. That's what politicians do every day. And then the politics in theater is how you learn from the conflict every day in the theater to better your life, to make you a better person, to make you a better leader. Because without learning that, you're just a politician, you're not a leader. Yes, I want to still, but I want to go under somebody and get trained. Okay. I don't know how to do, I still know how to sketch, but I still want to be better. I still want to be better because I see myself going to animations very shortly. I see me turning some of my children's books into animations, and I want to understand the basics. And the basics is always about drawing, about sketching, about using computers to do graphics, 3Ds, 4D, whatever it is. I want to do them. I don't know. My best play of all time, I don't really know, because I've asked that question a couple of times, and no 5 people have given me the same answer. Some think it's Legend. Some think it's Our Sunday Minister. Some think it's Trading Places. Some think it's Darling Love. Some think it's even August Meeting. So a play appeals to different audience. So I won't say one is my best. And a lot of them have enjoyed a lot of patronage. August Meeting have gone on tour around different states in Nigeria. Legend is currently going on tour. Our Sunday Minister has gone on tour. Right now we're doing this campus tour, whereby students from different universities, about 5 selected universities, will now perform Our Sunday Minister, and the winner will go home with ₦1 million. So that's what we are. So each of the plays have had their own exciting journey. And sometimes they go on their own, I don't go with them. For me, it was not what I have done. For me, it was what I thank God I did, which is moving from Kogi to Lagos. For me, that was my greatest achievement. All other things wouldn't have happened without that move. There was a time people were telling me, what are you studying in Kogi State? Why don't you move to Lagos? If you tell me to move to Lagos, I get angry. I hated the town. I'd been to Lagos before. for writing workshops, British Council writing workshops. In fact, it was from Lagos I traveled to London for my first international writing residency for 1 month. After I came back, I didn't like the city. I had to move back to Jos. From Jos, I moved back to Kogi State. So until one day, I just made up my mind, I'm going to Lagos, and I left. And when I came here, Lagos did not reject me. Lagos accepted me, and for that, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to Lagos for everything. If not for Lagos, I don't know where I would have been. Let me start from the science student. Yeah. Not everybody is dull in the sciences like me. So I won't advise you, if you don't feel like it, I won't advise you to leave the sciences. Some people, I've seen doctors who are good writers. I've seen lawyers who are good. So it doesn't matter your profession. What matters is that passion for art that you carry. Do not let the fire go down. You must keep it burning every day. The flame must not go down. So in your spare time, in taking time away from your science books, you should write something. Don't let that fire down. Write something, create a piece of music, draw something, whatever it is you want to do. And if you feel like leaving the sciences for the art, go ahead, leave. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't let your father hold you back. My dad refused to buy my jam form because I was studying theater arts. I didn't let that stop me. I struggled, went to do menial jobs, carry concrete on my head to buy my jam form. So it's not, and today everybody's happy. So if you feel like leaving, leave. Don't stop pursuing your dream. Don't let anything stop you from pursuing your dream. And if you are a theater artist, if you are a writer, an actor, one of the problems that we have as theater practitioners or creators is procrastination. Procrastination kills the biggest work. Sometimes I want to write a story and I procrastinate. I'll write tomorrow, I'll write next tomorrow. Other events come and take, and I forget writing. Yeah. Don't ever procrastinate on every job, on anything you want to write. Even if you don't have time, create time for yourself. Keep doing it, keep writing. If you're a writer, let me talk to writers especially. If you're a writer, don't wait until somebody commissions you before you start writing. Write as it comes to your head, because a time will come, you'll be too busy to write. It is those things you've written before that you dust up and look at them and make use of them again. What if I didn't write our Sunday minister a long time ago? What if that competition just came on and I have no work to submit? Will I have won? Opportunities come every day. It is when you are prepared for them that you will key into those opportunities. You need to be prepared as a writer. Have your writing. Somebody may call you one day and say, okay, can you get me something on this? All you need to do is just dig it up and dust it up. There is nothing like an old writing. Every writing, especially if it's thematic, every writing is always new. So keep writing and keep writing, because the time will come, family, job, and all that will now start hampering on your writing. It is when you have written down, you now have a catalog of your writing, that you'll be able to say, okay, let me go back to the works I have written. And then if you write for commissions, if people commission you to write, one thing you must never joke with is deadline. It is very important to your client, because if you lose that trust of meeting up with deadlines, people will stop. It doesn't matter how good you are. People will stop coming for you because they say, okay, he's good, but it doesn't meet my deadline. So always try and meet up with people's deadline, because at that moment you're not writing for yourself. If you're writing for yourself, you can take your time. But if you're writing for people, you better respect their deadline and write for them.